We're back with another episode. Welcome back to another episode of The Face Off with Fleming and Fowler. Don't forget to hit the download button and subscribe to our podcast wherever podcasts are available.
All right, guys, welcome to another episode of The Face Off with Fleming and Fowler. Fleming here.
She's alone today.
But you're still here.
I'm here in spirit. And Fowler.
You're here in person. Yeah.
In the flesh.
Of course. So how was your week this past week?
It was the longest, shortest week of my life, you know? Like,
I
the
agree.
week was short, but the days were long.
Yeah.
But usually it's the days are short and the week is long.
Right.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
So that was different.
Yeah. How was work?
Work was work, you know?
Was it a blur for you as it was for me?
Every day I'm like, I don't know what I did. I don't know who I saw. I hope they're all right. I charted them, surely.
Yeah, I think I did too.
I don't know. I don't know if it's the weather. I
Yeah.
don't know if my seasonal depression's kicking up. I don't know if we're just...
You have seasonal depression? Why do you have seasonal depression?
You don't have seasonal depression?
No.
Oh, I definitely have seasonal depression.
Really? Why?
Yeah, it gets cold and dark and like I don't want to leave the house and
That's my everyday life. I love it to be cold and dark and vampire-y.
Cortisol levels go up. My serotonin goes down. Seasonal depression.
That's sad. Can you turn your phone off, please, ma'am? We're in the middle of a podcast.
Sorry.
Thanks.
Yeah. So I don't know. It just like dragged on. I felt like I was in Groundhog's Day or something. Like
Really?
It was just very repetitive this week. But I didn't remember anything that was going on. It was just like dull. Everyone at work was kind of like, you know.
Yeah. I think as you get closer and closer to another like break, a holiday break, no one wants to do any work. And so you're just like, you're going through the motions like, oh my God, when is Christmas going to come so I can have a day off or something?
Yeah. I'm hoping we'll be renewed in the new year.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I agree.
What about you? How was work? You asked me about work first this week.
Because I care about how work went for you. I care
so
about you. You're an important person in this society.
You heard it here first, folks.
Yeah. I mean, plus we've already done too much promo, so I can't replace you right now.
That's true.
Yeah. I have to get our graphic artist on
You'd
the
have
line.
to get a whole nother graphic.
It'd
Who
be
wants
too
to
much.
do that?
Exactly. But my week was actually pretty cool. I was
Out of COVID, baby.
Out of COVID, baby. Oh yeah. So it was just very good to not be in COVID as usual. And my work week was honestly a blur. I'm getting ready to come up on my 3-week vacation in a couple days. And so my brain was just there, just already on vacation. A lot of the times I couldn't catch my words. My thoughts were all over the place. There was a bunch of crap that happened actually with you, which we'll talk about in the rehab corner with regard to these patients and crazy stuff. But other than that, it was a good week.
It was a good week.
Good week.
I did learn this week that we still get quarantine pay if we get COVID, which I thought had ended. We do, and you don't have to get it at the hospital. To my knowledge, if you get COVID, whether or not you get it at the hospital, they will pay for your 2 weeks. I don't think it's 100%. I don't know what the percentage is, but they'll pay.
So you're saying that I shouldn't have gone to the urgent care to get a COVID test and it came back negative. I should have just waited.
I'll tell you this too. Someone told me, which we'll have to fact check this, that even if you just have the symptoms of COVID or you feel like you are sick, but the test was negative, you can still get quarantine pay. That's what I'm saying. So I don't know the validity of that. We'll have to check on it. But that was like a rose of my week. Because worst comes to worst. My big thing is I'm afraid to get COVID. A, because my lungs are shot. But B, because I don't know what the fuck I'm going to do about taking 2 weeks off.
Listen, I'm going into a 3-week vacation and I need my PTO.
That's what I'm saying. I have all my PTO planned out.
Yeah.
So like an unexpected 2-week vacation is not in the cards for me.
No,
But now that I
definitely not for
know
me either.
I'll still be getting paid, I'm like, all right, let's rock on.
Exactly. Yeah. I cannot afford to get sick. I usually try to keep at least 40 hours in my bank. But I have, 3 weeks worth of PTO. Anyway, I won't tell my business.
This is the most like American capitalist bullshit. I'm like, I'm not worried about, I don't know, being on life support or spreading this disease to other people.
Yeah.
But my PTO being drained, that's just not going to work for me.
It's not. Because remember in the beginning of the pandemic when when we literally had a big meeting and they were like, hey, y'all, so COVID's here. Everything's shutting the fuck down. We're going to get rid of 50% of the staff.
Dude, it was like that episode of The Office with the fire.
Yo.
That's what our office looked like.
The minute they said that, I was just like, I got 40 hours of PTO. What the fuck? And they're
Dude,
like, you're going to have to just use your PTO if that's it.
No, I told you while we were sitting in that meeting, I got my first email from FAFSA that was like, hey girl, loan payments due coming up 2 weeks. And I was like, as the director's like, hey y'all, 50% of y'all not coming to work anymore.
You're not coming to work.
I was like, I don't know what to do.
We were like, how y'all going to decide who gets to work and who doesn't? Like, that's not fair.
I was freaking out.
Yeah, it was
because I was like, I'm the newest one here. I'm screwed.
Last one hired, first one fired. Absolutely. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was just like, I think I'm going to go ahead and just volunteer to work with COVID first so I can save my job.
Yeah, that was a tough one.
Yeah, so I always try to keep at least 40 hours in the bank because you just never know what will happen. So
we are very blessed to have kept our jobs this whole time.
Definitely.
It doesn't feel like a blessing a lot of the time.
That's very true.
But it definitely is, I think. So
yeah, because when I hear people complain about, oh my God, I'm just so tired of staying at home and blah, 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 blah. Shut up. Like, you still are able to work and bring in a check versus us who still have to go into the hospital. We're working our butts off, sweating our butts off. Nothing has changed for us this entire year.
It's almost gotten worse, I'd say.
Yes, less pizza parties, less prizes.
And the pizza for the pizza parties now sucks.
Yeah, it was from the cafeteria.
Yo, we had a pizza party recently. We were all pumped. It's the first one in a long time. We opened those boxes. We were like, this is from the fucking cafeteria.
And then they just had the audacity to put it in boxes.
Put it in a pizza box. Just go.
Like it came from another restaurant. Like, what? Wow, what restaurant is this? The cafeteria.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it was definitely
trash.
This year has been a crazy mess. I honestly had to reevaluate, to be completely honest with you, if I want to do healthcare anymore, just because everything that's going on, and this kind of segues into our first topic, which Pfizer, the pharmaceutical company, they have officially completed their vaccine for COVID, and the FDA has now approved it for release to the public for emergency purposes. So I think what they're trying to do is like, what are they called? What are we called? What are we?
Healthcare workers,
yes.
Essential workers, frontline workers.
Frontline and essential workers will get it. It will be available for them first.
Did hear that too.
And then
I listened to a whole podcast about the rollout.
Really, yeah, it's insane. I mean, that's cool if they want to roll it out to healthcare workers and stuff first, and essential
it sounds
personnel.
like they want to exploit and extort me first and for longer periods of time, so they want me to get the vaccine first.
Oh, absolutely, yeah, because you're around the COVID, so they want you to do it.
They're like, we need you to keep working for your same pay.
Exactly.
So we'll need you to inject yourself with this vaccine.
Exactly. And then they also I think they're going to roll it out to teachers and professors, people who work with children, then the elderly and kids, and then pretty much everybody like 20 years to like middle age. You're pretty much last.
Y'all aren't getting the shit for another year.
No. And even I had one of my old band directors from high school, he actually reached out to me via Facebook and was like, hey, so about this vaccine, are you going to get it? And I'm just like, listen, I know I'm in healthcare and everything, and I've been working with COVID since the very beginning of this pandemic. However, I will never be an opinion to substitute you talking this over with your primary care physician, or you even doing your own research about the actual vaccine. So I can only tell you what I am choosing to do. And just because I choose to do it doesn't mean that you should or you should not. But I just personally don't believe in getting this vaccine right now, because I just don't think that it's, you don't know enough about it and you just made it. And I saw this guy on TikTok, which was very funny.
We get all of our hard-hitting information.
Of course, it's evidence-based practice. This guy, he made a very good point. He said, we have spent hundreds of millions of dollars on HIV and AIDS research, and there has yet to be a vaccine for that. We have spent millions upon gazillion trillion dollars on cancer research, and we have yet to come up with a vaccine. And all of a sudden, you get a virus that's still deadly, and you can come up with a vaccine in less than a year.
Because there's no money in keeping people sick from COVID.
Yeah.
There's money in chemo and cancer research, and there's money in PrEP and people keeping themselves from getting AIDS and sustaining their HIV.
Yeah.
And those are things like cancer is hereditary with quotes, right? Like you get it. People aren't worried about catching cancer.
Yeah.
You either get it or you don't. People, you can be worried about catching HIV, but like that's an active thing that you, like it's a personal choice, right? Like you didn't protect yourself. You have the chance to get HIV.
Yeah.
COVID's a fucking free
It's just
baller.
like, yeah, it really is. It's like a ghost.
Yeah.
It just goes
so they're
around
like,
and
oh,
touches
this,
people.
we got to actually fix it.
Yeah. And because they're losing too much money, that's why. Because even too, like, it's kind of funny that you haven't really heard or even seen, you know, commercials as much as you used to, or even social media posts as much as you used to about like HIV and AIDS. Like, hey, wrap it up. It's always like, oh, World AIDS Day. That's the only time you really see stuff about AIDS.
Or like I see commercials only for PrEP now. It's always PrEP.
Exactly. Exactly.
But it's never like, oh, HIV. It's just like, oh, just protect yourself, PrEP.
Exactly. But I think too, there's a lot of people who, you know, have a lot of reservations about the vaccine, which is, you know, it's very valid. I know even too for African Americans, we are very sensitive in this country with regard to vaccines and medicine in general, simply because of the history that we have gone through and that our ancestors have gone through in this country. I mean, it was not that long ago that they shut down the Tuskegee experiment with syphilis. And I mean, syphilis is something that is treatable. You know, you get a shot and it's gone. But the fact that you literally, as a government, decided to take a whole bunch of black people and say, hey, black people, we're going to lie to you and say that this is free healthcare and preventative care. And instead, we're just going to inject you with syphilis and just see how you go about your daily life. Like, that makes no sense to me. And even Henrietta Lacks. I mean, these people, and when I say these people, I mean the government, white people in medicine, you literally stole this woman's cells, replicated them without her consent or knowledge, and even consent from her family, from her estate. And you literally made cures and medicines for everything based off this woman's cells. And it wasn't until her kids finally came after you had to settle for billions of dollars. You owe them this whole country, to be honest with you. You owe them every penny that you make off of the back of this lady's cells. You owe her that. Like, and then you question, well, why don't black people go to the doctor? Tuskegee, bitch. Like, what kind of dumbass question is that?
Just like, I'm not negating the fact that I think very smart people have been working on this and that there may be some validity to it. But also, do you remember when COVID first came out? And even up in Seattle, they had like this epidemiology is the study of.
Yeah.
You fill in the blank.
Is
it diseases? What's the study of disease processes? Is it epidemiology? Okay. Yes. I'm not an idiot. I just don't know.
It was just the way you said it. It was
I'm
funny.
just insecure. This scientist did that. She tested at labs, all these different things. And she told the government, she was like, hey, I have the technology to process these tests faster. And they're like, no, we're not going to do it. And so she started processing tests on her own. And she was like, shit, dude, all of these people have COVID. And legally, I can't tell them anything because the government is still telling me that I cannot do these things. Exactly. And so finally, she just went rogue and started calling people and was like, you have COVID, stay home. Yeah. So it's stuff like that I'm still like, the government's still shit. Yeah. And like, this vaccine is probably a good thing and is... many people working on it have good intentions, but I'm just like, that shit, I don't trust it.
You just have to understand that as good as your intentions are, you cannot ignore the history behind it. And even for Dr. Fauci, one thing that I really hate is that when people try to use one token black person as like well, see, they're working on it, so it must be good. As if they couldn't be an Uncle Tom. And I'm not saying that this particular person is, but even Dr. Fauci, you know, he had an interview where he was talking about the COVID-19 vaccine and was urging Americans to take it, and especially with regard to African Americans and not being afraid to take it. And he basically says, oh, well, there's this black scientist. Her name is Kizzmekia Corbett. She's one of the ones who's helping develop it. As if that's supposed to make my black ass feel better that y'all got one token black scientist
also,
that's on it.
Have you never seen a superhero movie? There's always good scientists working on shit.
Yeah.
And then the villains take their good stuff and turn it into bad stuff.
Exactly. And my thing is, you don't even know if this black scientist is going to get it. She is doing a job. That's what she went to school for.
The same way we're doing a job.
Hello? I'm obese, okay? And I tell people every single day, It is so good to get up and move. You need 30 minutes of exercise every day. Meanwhile, my fat ass is over here hurting, knees, back, ankles, everything else. Like, come on now.
Yeah.
How many fat cardiologists do we have in our hospital?
A lot.
How many obese internal medicine doctors do we have?
All of them.
Thank you. How many elderly, they look like they need a knee replacement and or hip replacement, orthopedics?
All of the doctors have heart issues. They all look like they chain smoke.
They eat from the cafeteria. They always got a Coca-Cola in their hand, eat so much grease and junk. So let's not go there with the whole, well, we have one person who does good for her ass. Good for her.
I'm just like, the one reason I would take it is because I would be afraid of passing something to someone at work, right? But one, no one has gotten COVID at the hospital from one of us that I know of, we know of, because we're always wearing PPE.
Yes.
B, this vaccine protects you from getting COVID. It does not, they do not know that it protects others from getting it from you.
Yeah, from spreading it, yeah.
So I'm like, I mean, I'm still going to have to do all this shit anyway, so I might as well just keep rocking a mask.
And there's a lot of stuff that they don't know, too, about how it, like the long-term effects of it, how it will affect, you know, childbearing age women and breastfeeding moms and things like that.
And they said it's like people who have bad allergies are having really bad allergic reactions to it.
Yeah.
So if you have bad allergies, not to take it.
Yeah, because I saw some article. I don't know how authenticated these are, but there was a couple of articles that were coming out that came out over the weekend about people who were getting Bell's palsy as a result of it. And I'm like,
I cannot look like that. I am so young.
Well, here's the thing, Bell's palsy, you're not stuck in a permanent state. It's
I know,
like
but even for, I already have enough issues.
Did you just try to reenact it?
No, I didn't. Please delete this.
I just saw your face. I was like, what the fuck are you doing?
Strike this from the record.
Maybe. Nobody can see it, so it's totally fine. But yeah, I mean, Bell's palsy is, I mean, out of all the things you can get from a vaccine,
probably the best case scenario.
That's the best case scenario.
just a little drip.
Right. All these commercials, you're like, oh, if you take this medicine, you know, this medicine for whatever, UTIs, and this person's, you know, dancing in the park, and they're just like, oh, side effects, death, stroke, heart attack. I'll deal with a little Bell's palsy.
It could be cute.
Exactly.
I could rock it maybe.
Just put some makeup on or something, but
Botox outside.
Or baclofen on it. But yeah, I just think people, you know, the government has to be very understanding, and scientists and physicians have to be very understanding as well too, not to project their thoughts and ideas about this vaccine onto others without, you know, taking into consideration the history behind all of this kind of stuff. You know?
Well, I heard it's going to be kind of like what's the shot?
Flu shot?
No. What's the shot you get two of? You have to go back.
TB? No. I don't remember. Measles, mumps,
HPV?
rubella?
No, god damn it. Well, yeah, you have to do the HPV in 3 anyway. Yeah, 2. It's gonna be a shot where you'll have to go get one, and then you'll have to go get another one.
Because what's the first one? Is the first one like the buffer? Or the booster? No, maybe the second one is the booster.
Probably the booster. But they were just saying they want to roll it out because everyone is so nervous about the vaccine. They're like, well, we want to put it in like Walgreens, HEBs, Target, so people are more comfortable. And we want everyone to have access. So we want you to, like, once you get the vaccine, be registered in this database. And that way, if you get one vaccine here, but then you go to Florida and you need the other shot in that time period, that pharmacy can pick it up. And I'm like, that's just, I don't know about all that shit.
That's very I Am Legend, and I don't like that. Because my thing is, if other countries have been able to eradicate it, i.e. Australia,
people are walking around in Australia without masks right now.
And New Zealand, they literally, TikTok, because I love TikTok. This lady on TikTok literally said, how was New Zealand able to get rid of COVID twice? She literally said they closed down everything for 2 weeks. Just 14 days. The only things that were open were hospitals, gas stations, pharmacies, and grocery stores. No, grocery stores. So grocery stores, hospitals, gas stations, and pharmacies. Those are the only things that, no fast food restaurants were open whatsoever. So you had to cook your damn food, and only one member from your family was able to actually go out of the home to go to the grocery store. Like, you couldn't go to the grocery store and have your kids with you and all that kind of, you had to leave them damn kids at the house. Now I know obviously some people cannot do that. They have to take their children with them, understandable, but they did it in such a way twice. Is New Zealand and Australia talking about a vaccine? Probably not. You know why? Because they got rid of the shit. So why are we pushing a vaccine when we have the answer from other countries that can close? Again, if you close down for 14 days and a stimulus that was given, I'm gonna just be completely honest with you. I did not qualify for the $1,200 because I make more than a certain amount of money per year, right? You just do your own research. Anyway, so I got a portion of
$190,000 a year.
Honey, from your lips to God's ears.
You should see the house we're sitting in right now.
From your lips to God's ears. Hallelujah. In Jesus' name, amen. But I got a portion of it. To be honest with you, since I did not stop working, I should have not gotten any stimulus money whatsoever. That should have been given to the Chick-fil-A workers, the McDonald's workers, the bars, the small business owners. It should have been the hostess. It should have been given to those people. These banks should not have been bailed out. These airlines should not have been bailed out. None of these Fortune 500 companies should have been bailed out. What you should have done as a business person was not give your shareholders a bonus this year and tell them, hey, next year we'll give you back double if we can just calm our asses down.
Yep. Because I think everyone's big scare is that if we shut down again, everyone's business is going under, which it probably will because no one can afford it. So I just need them to like
protect the small business owners.
Figure that shit out, subsidize it, put everything on hold, say, hey, just kidding, 2020 is taking a pause. No one's gonna, you won't have interest or accrue. You won't have, nothing will depreciate. Everything's on a standstill.
And nothing goes to the back end of it. Because even too, people were talking about with their mortgages, like, you know, even my mortgage company reached out and was like, hey, if you need to like put this mortgage on, you know, this month's mortgage on the back end of your loan, you can do that. No, it just needs to be on pause. Okay.
Yeah.
Skip the month of May. Y'all good. Y'all got enough money. Just put it on pause, okay? You are not gonna lose that much money in a month if I don't pay my little $33 water bill.
Yep.
Like that makes no sense. And it's something that's so doable as opposed to, you know, even the breakdown that they gave about, oh, you know, $900 billion for this new plan, and you're giving $220 billion to government. Like, what sense does that make? Like that, seriously? Like teachers should have gotten that money. They should have that should have been the perfect opportunity for you to give teachers a bonus. Mm-hmm. I mean, even though hell, they were already in summer school or summer and wasn't doing nothing, but still, damn it.
Still being a teacher sucks.
Exactly. So. Being a teacher sucks and it's hard
Raising
work.
Kids that aren't your kids.
Man, and you can't beat them either?
Nope.
Gee whiz. But yeah, I think
so that's a yes on the vaccine for us. We'll be the first to get it. We're super excited. You and I will report live from the field.
Shit, you gonna be by yourself. You must go have another Fleming because I can guarantee you I ain't getting that shit.
They keep sending us emails at work. They're like, do you want to be in the test group for? And I'm like, hell no.
You can test my ass, get out my face. No. Hell no. Mm-mm. And one other thing too is that my same, you know, former band director from high school, he was just like, oh, do you think they're gonna make the vaccine, you know, mandatory? You can do whatever you want to. I don't mean I got to get it. Listen, I got a business degree. I don't have to be in the hospital. Okay, let's be very clear.
Yeah, I need to keep my job, but they sent out a announcement last week that was like, we're not going to force anybody because we know that y'all would all leave.
You would have nobody in the hospital if you did that. You can't. You just like even with the flu vaccine. I mean, with the flu shot. The flu shot is not mandatory in the hospital that we work in. It is strongly suggested, and they give you an alternative if you are either allergic to eggs and allergic, which is, you know, a part of the thing that the shot is made of. If you're allergic to it, you can't take it for religious reasons, or if you just don't want to get it, you will have to wear a mask for anytime you were in contact with patients, which I totally, I'm okay with that, right? But my thing is to make this mandatory for people who come in contact with other people every day. That's not appropriate. That's not appropriate.
I also can't imagine not wearing a mask at the hospital now.
Oh yeah, I'm never getting a flu shot again.
I'm just like the buffer of smells that we have.
Yeah, unless you take it off and put it back on.
Yeah, no, then you're smelling your own stink breath.
Exactly.
But like, I'm so used to smelling, you know, shit all the time, bad breath, body odor that hasn't been washed off in 2 weeks, and I'm like,
very
damn,
true.
We may be onto something with these masks.
Yeah, and then before I used to be like, well, I can't breathe with a mask on, so I'm just gonna have to just settle and get the flu shot. And my stupid ass, 3 years later, here we are wearing masks all day, every day. Yeah. And I'm like, God damn it, I could have did this shit. But yeah, I think even too, I saw this interview that Joe Biden did. And they were asking him, like, you know, once he comes into the presidency, if he's going to mandate the vaccine. And he clearly said, no, that's a dumb idea. Like, you shouldn't mandate a vaccine, just like we should not mandate masks. We can suggest that they are used. And yes, you have the freedom to change your company policies and implement certain things that people want to have businesses, you know, or shop at your particular business. But we are not mandating this. And we're not going to mandate that. That's stupid. It doesn't work.
Well, then can't you say that they can't mandate a quarantine, a hard quarantine?
I think that's a bit different, though.
Is it?
Martial law. Just saying. That's all a quarantine is.
I'm just like, Can everyone get it together and just stay the fuck inside?
You don't need to be outside. Just be a hermit like the rest of us. It's fun. It's fun and cozy in your house.
I'm just like, could we all get it together and just be like, hey, we are not going outside?
2 weeks is not a bad time.
I think we were doing good. Were we not doing good for a while?
I mean, it was my normal life, so I didn't know anything
Like, I want to say April time.
Yeah.
Everyone was heavy staying inside. There was no traffic. Everyone was enjoying the long spring break. Mm-hmm. And then the shit got old real quick.
Yeah, I think people survived like a good week and they were like, okay, we have all this meat, all this toilet tissue. What are we going to do now? We've watched everything on Netflix.
All the TikToks.
Yeah, we watched everything on Netflix. Tiger King has run out of episodes. Yeah. What are we going to do now?
Yeah, that has to be it. But that was a good time.
Yeah, it was.
And I'm like, everyone has switched to online at this point. Like, jobs aren't even going back until next year sometime.
Very true.
Like, schools all switched over, which I know it's hard for them because with all the kids who get free and reduced lunch and stuff like that. But and even I mean, it's been almost a year, so I feel like that shit's worked out already.
Yeah, and I mean, even for graduations and stuff and prom. I mean, it sucks for the kids for prom and grad night and homecoming and all that kind of stuff. But sports is kind of still in effect. And do I really think sports is really that valid? No, it's not at all. But neither here nor there.
Do you know who? Oh God, what's his name? The owner of Barstool. You know what I'm talking about?
With a what?
You don't know what Barstool is?
Barstool? No.
Barstool is
a stool at a bar?
No. Barstool is this. Oh, sorry, Dave Portnoy. That's his name. Barstool is like started this website. They have podcasts. They have all this shit. It's just like sports and comedy.
Oh yeah.
Barstool. He did this whole Instagram live the other day because they're shutting down restaurants in New York again, and he was just like, "There's already like." Everywhere's boarded up. Nowhere even opened up again. And the places that could survive because they did everything. They did the outdoor dining. Now you're closing them down. Like, and he's like, if people want to go out, they're going to go out. Like, they're going to go party. They're going to do all this shit. And I was like, you're right. It's us. We're the problem.
They're going to go to, listen, you can shut down everything and only keep grocery stores open. Target and Walmart will still be a part of that equation. You will have motherfuckers in there just walking around the goddamn the dollar spot in Target because I know I will probably be there. Okay. Yeah. But at the same time, like Home Goods and TJ Maxx, that should not be open. I mean, I know a lot of people were doing like, home projects and stuff, but Home Depot, okay, keep Home Depot and Lowe's open, yes, just because you need stuff like that, for emergency purposes. But it's us. We don't know how to sit our asses down. Yeah. Like the human race does not know how to sit there. We always
society. We've been born and bred to be like this.
But the thing is, we talk about all day, oh my God, I can't wait for retirement. And as soon as the government gives your ass a taste of retirement, your stupid ass can't take it. I'm bored. Go read a book. Learn a new language.
Ooh, that would be a good one. Learn a new language. I should have done that. Did we talk
too.
About doing that?
We did, but we're
still working.
We're still working full time. So I was just as tired January 1 as I am now. So yeah, I didn't have time to learn a new language because I was too busy helping save people's lives.
Well, stay in if you can.
Yeah.
Just wash your hands. Stay 6 feet away.
Just don't get comfortable. Just don't get. We're still in a pandemic, guys. Even though I'm no longer working in COVID, I still go up on the COVID units to see some of my former patients.
Get snacks.
And to get snacks. And see my former patients who are still there. People are still dying. They're still dying.
People are dying, Kim.
Like actively right now. People are still dying. They absolutely are still dying.
Okay. So, any other boring news stuff you want to talk about?
What's his name? I don't really want to talk about him.
The Zodiac Killer.
Oh, I wasn't going to talk about him, but I was going to talk about how Trump keeps wasting the taxpayer dollars with these lawsuits. Just give it up. Give it the fuck up, you stupid idiot. You lost the election. Move the fuck on.
Noted.
Oh, stupid bitch. Anyway, go ahead. Okay. I was not trying to cuss that much. But
more importantly,
yes,
the Zodiac Killer letter was decoded.
So the Zodiac Killer is real.
Yeah.
Because I just thought that was from like a scene from, one of the killers off Criminal Minds.
No, it's real.
Yeah.
San Francisco, like the 60s, 70s.
So the Zodiac, what was he like putting, like, what made him the Zodiac? Was he putting like different Zodiac signs on people or what?
People can fact check me, but I think he called himself the Zodiac Killer.
Oh, so he made contact and said, hey, it's me.
So his thing was he would kill and then he would write into the newspapers and be like,
Oh.
hey, bitch, it's me. You'll never find me.
Hey, bitch, it's me.
Yeah, because he
I'm not laughing at him killing people. I'm just laughing at the fact that
because that's what narcissists do.
Yeah.
Horrible things and want
So
credit
did they ever
for it.
catch him or no?
They never caught him. They did they catch him? Now I'm gonna have shit.
He's probably
information.
dead by now. Wasn't it back in the what time frame? 70s?
This was like the late 60s or early 70s.
Yeah, he's probably dead by now.
He killed 5 people, but he would always write in to the newspapers. But he would do these like huge, like weird coded ciphers and try to get them to uncover it, and no one could. And they did one of them, and then it took forever. So there's like this team of code crackers who, for fun, decoded it.
And what did it say?
It said some fucked up shit. I'll read it to you. He was weird. Have you seen the Zodiac movie?
No.
I don't know if you like it, but
As I said, the only thing I know about Zodiac Killer is just from his stuff from Criminal Minds.
yeah. Well,
Because Criminal Minds is real.
it is.
Yeah.
So per this code cracking team, the letter said, I hope you're having lots of fun and trying to catch me. That wasn't me on the TV show, which brings up a point about me. I am not afraid of the gas chamber because it will send me to paradise all the sooner, because I now have enough slaves to work for me where everyone else has nothing when they reach paradise, so they are afraid of death. I am not afraid because I know that my new life will be an easy one in paradise death.
That sounds about right for every serial killer.
Yeah, it doesn't make a lot of sense.
They always think that death is their calling and that's their fate to go to paradise.
Oh, I'm so ready for death. Yeah, but it's just like that's like how did that take so long to crack? But this is what it looked like. Like this is what the shit looked like.
Oh shit!
So like, who would crack that? That's crazy.
Listen, that's a word scramble puzzle.
Yeah, I mean, how long did it take for them to find the Golden State Killer? Years.
Exactly. Yeah.
And he was just some old white dude eating lasagna. You know what I mean?
This is why black people will never be serial killers.
There are black serial killers.
Name one. And don't say the Jamaican guy who shot the people in New York or whatever.
The guy.
What do they call him?
The guy from Atlanta's Missing and Murdered the Children. The one who killed all those black kids. You should watch that documentary. It's good.
What is it called again?
Atlanta's Missing and Murdered. All these young boys from Atlanta went missing and no one gave a shit.
Because they're black.
Yep.
Why would they?
Yep. But anyway, yeah.
On a lighter note.
On a lighter note.
What else you got?
Where do you want to start?
Anywhere, I don't care.
Okay, well, the internet hates Shawn Mendes now because he introduced Sam Smith at the iHeartRadio Awards as he instead of they, them. So everyone came for his neck.
Okay.
Which, like, I would understand it because you know who Sam Smith is.
No, I would not understand. Here's my problem, and I'm just going to say it, and I don't care if this goddamn podcast gets canceled.
Ooh, I have a problem with that.
It is not my responsibility to know who the fuck you are. If you introduce yourself to me as Becky on Monday and then you want to be goddamn Dustin on Tuesday, bitch, I cannot keep up with that. Like, I'm not trying to be offensive, but I'm just being realistic. Like, I saw this one fucking TikTok. I'm always on fucking TikTok. Anyway, this one girl was like, she was like talking to herself, but pretending to be somebody else and was just like, oh, well, she was like, oh, no, my pronouns are they. And she was like, oh, okay, with the way that you can know my pronouns is that on Monday, I wear a pink bracelet. Those are for she and her. Then on Tuesday, I wear a yellow one. That's for them and they. Bitch, I ain't got time to be looking at your fucking jewelry, okay? Tell me who the fuck you are. Becky, Rebecca, Jason, Justin, Alyssa, Monica. Who the fuck are you? Like, that irritates the shit out of me. And then you want to get off, you're so fucking homophobic and blah, blah, blah. No, I'm not. I don't know who the fuck you are today.
Yep. So I'm saying, like, you know how Sam Smith wears heels and is feminine if he wants to be. I could understand if Shawn Mendes was like she.
Right.
That's super fucking rude.
What?
Like calling him she when he's a he, but then also you could say the same thing of like, you called me a he when I'm a they.
Do you know who Big Frida is?
Yeah.
Okay. Big Frida, we all know is a man.
I keep letting you back in. That's all Big Frida, right? That song?
Yes, but that's actually the Lauryn Hill, but then he put the New Orleans bounce. Yes, but my thing is, he will tell you very quickly, I am a man. Okay, I got a penis in between my legs just like every other man. But then when he is in his element, like on stage, people, even in his camp, his friends, his family, they will call him she, and he's not offended by it. Same thing with Flame Monroe. Flame Monroe is a man. who has a penis and some fake boobs. And his pronouns, he will say, you can call me he, she, we. Got it on the whole goddamn fan and everything. He's like, I don't give a shit who you call me as long as the motherfucking check clear. Like, I just feel like people who are non-binary, like, stop trying to always think that people are trying to fucking offend you. We don't know what the fuck you are that day.
I don't even know if he was offended as much as everybody else was offended.
I just think that is so, like, you're looking for an opportunity to just be pissed off at somebody, because even, what's her name, that just came out as transgender? Ellen Page. Elliot Page. So yeah, so I'm like, I know you from what's the movie, Juno and Umbrella Academy and other projects that she's done. And I'm like, okay, I've known you as a she for this whole time. Mm-hmm. If I slip up and call you, she, when you have now decided on a Saturday that I am now he and I'm coming out as this, like, stop being so offended when somebody makes an honest mistake. It's not like I'm out here calling you a racial slur and all this other kind of stuff, like, on purpose. I don't know who you are from day to day. If you keep changing your fucking pronouns, again, well, some days I identify as a man, some days I identify as, well, then you can't get offended if somebody call you the wrong fucking pronoun.
Yeah.
That's stupid as shit.
It's the internet more than the person.
Oh my God.
The internet's always pissed off about something. But then now we're in this culture where people have to apologize for when the internet thinks something is wrong.
If I come up
and
to
his apology was literally like, sorry, man, I slipped. Won't happen again. Because that's all it was.
I wouldn't even apologize. If Sam Smith himself didn't say he was offended, fuck everybody else who got something to say about it. When he tweeted and say he got a problem with it, hey, bro, call me. Okay, bro, or she, whatever.
Hey.
At that point, I'm just like, you have an honest mistake where you have a baby. Babies are beautiful. Most babies are beautiful. But you ever seen those babies who they're just unisex? You don't know if they're a boy or a girl.
They're so cute. See, that's a good
so
them
cute. Yeah, so you're just like, oh my gosh, she's so cute. Oh, it's a boy. Oh, I'm sorry. Like, no, it's okay. I just have a pretty baby. That's understandable. Yeah. But stop always looking to be offended when no one was intentionally trying to offend you. Like, I hate shit like that. I'm them they. Bitch, what's your name? I don't give a shit about your pronoun. What the fuck is your name?
Say my name.
And if you're gonna change your name every day, wear a badge. Okay.
We have to.
Hello.
And people still call me the wrong thing.
Today
name.
My name is, and I can address you as such. Yep. Okay. That would make it easier. So for all my non-binary persons, I don't even know if they consider themselves people or humans, whatever, wear a badge. Help us out and wear a badge. Because I just don't, I can't. Anyway.
So yeah, that's that on that. Shia LaBeouf is being sued by his ex-girlfriend, kind of.
For what?
So I guess they started dating in like 2018 for, I guess they met on his Honey Boy. Have you seen Honey Boy?
No.
Read a book. Also, do you know who Shia LaBeouf is? I heard you didn't.
He's from Transformers. Of course I know who he is.
I heard a rumor that you didn't know who that was.
Okay, Umbrella Academy. Who the fuck did you hear that rumor from?
I heard a rumor.
Who did you hear that rumor from?
I don't want to.
You just made that up in your head. I absolutely know who Shia LaBeouf is.
Anyway, this girl, FKA Twigs, is suing him for sexual battery, assault, emotional distress. Because there was I guess he was emotionally abusive for a long time. And then there was this big incident at a gas station where he like woke her up and said he was going to crash the car if she didn't tell him he loved him. And then she said she wanted to get out and he choked her and then threw her and her bags out of the car. I don't know, some crazy shit.
I'm sorry. When did this alleged incident happen?
So I guess last year. It happened last year sometime.
So 2019.
Yes. And so then Sia, Sia?
Mm-hmm. The one with the
Cheap Thrills?
Yeah.
Okay. She was like, I too have been emotionally hurt by Shia LaBeouf. He conned me into an adulterous relationship claiming to be single. I'm like, so he was a man.
Oh my God.
I don't know. So I was like, I believe this girl who's filing the lawsuit. But then when Sia tweeted, I was like, I feel less inclined now. That's why everyone should just keep their mouth shut about other people's business. If this girl wanted to sue, but now I hear you and you're like, he conned me into having sex with him a lot and he had a girlfriend and I've been emotionally abused. You got played.
This is why I say, even to going back to one of our earlier episodes when we were talking about the validity of people coming forward with regard to allegations of abuse, whether it be sexual, emotional, mental, blah, blah, blah. It makes your story less valid the longer you wait. right? For the court system, not for you personally. That is your story. That is your experience. What happened to you? Nobody's negating
And for the
that.
people's court, which is the internet.
Well, because that's important. But the reality is that the longer you wait, all these other people now start jumping on this bandwagon, and it makes the whole story sound absolutely insane, even if it did happen to you. But you get in this social media circus of all of this stuff. And my thing is, just like with Sia,
I love cheap thrills.
my baby, I think we've all been there. We've all been there. You know, you're with a dude and you think you're the only one, and you're not the only one. Ma'am, you're grown.
It was the verbiage for me. She was conned.
You weren't conned. Maybe you didn't ask the questions. Maybe you did and he told you and you just didn't care.
Conned me into an adulterous relationship claiming to be single.
So he put a gun up to your head?
She's got a thesaurus.
Listen, I'm going to need her to pull that bang up from her eyes and stop. Stop, ma'am. We've all been there. We've all been played by a guy before. Guys have been played by women before. Let's move on.
But also I'm like, this woman who's filing the lawsuit is like, he choked me, he hit me, he was a super emotionally abusive, I'm filing a lawsuit. And he's like, yeah, same girl.
He never put his hands on me, but he embarrassed me because he wasn't single.
He was single, so I kept fucking him and he wasn't.
Like you just,
it's that for me.
You
like,
just invalidated
validated everything she said.
Everything she said by coming and putting your stupid shit on it. Just like even with Bill Cosby, not defending Bill Cosby at all, but what's her name? Janice Dickinson. Your stupid ass came out after all these women who really were allegedly sexually assaulted, because I won't, anyway. Allegedly for the podcast. He's guilty. It's just alleged for the podcast. But my thing is, you came in and then lied and jumped on this bandwagon. Then you want to come back a couple months later. Oh, I lied. Bitch, go talk to Tyra so she can give you a job and you can get some business. The hell? You just invalidated all these women's stories.
That's what I'm saying.
That were actually true.
I read this whole article and I was like, oh, okay, shit. This girl really is, has this lawsuit. That sucks, whatever. Then I read this fucking tweet and I was like,
You just invalidated everything this girl just said, and you're an idiot, and you're selfish.
Yep. So 2021, I need everyone to be a little more self-aware, a little more inflection.
Read the fucking room.
Read the room, everybody.
Jeez.
So that's what's going on with Shia. Wish everybody well in that situation. Yikes. Perez Hilton got kicked the fuck off of TikTok.
Why was he crying?
Dude.
Like somebody had just shot his mother or something. Like, goddamn.
What the fuck happened? Do you know?
So
I couldn't figure it out.
I guess he just, so you know how like we talked about Boosie last weekend about how he
got kicked off of Instagram.
He got kicked off of Instagram because he was doing a lot of crazy things.
Social media has had it for the year.
Yeah.
They're just kicking people off.
But the thing is too, I think Perez Hilton has always been a very vocal person.
Problematic.
But he's been very problematic. And it's like, okay, it's just like the FBI. They gonna let you sell just enough drugs to get you real comfortable, and then they gonna come in and they gonna bust up your whole operation. And I think that's just literally what ended up happening with him. I don't think it was any one solo thing that happened. It was just a culmination of things that occurred that they were like, okay, bitch, enough is enough.
Yeah, because I know that he was banned because they said he violated multiple community guidelines. There was nudity and bullying. What I don't get is why did you watch the video?
I did. He cried like somebody literally shot his mother.
He was asking for help from Charlie D'Amelio, but he had gotten flamed for, remember she was in a bathing suit dancing and he was like super inappropriate for this 15-year-old to be dancing on TikTok. So was he just like, hey girl, TikTok queen, help me out?
Yeah, he was just like, I'm appealing to you and I just want to say I'm sorry and I'm begging and pleading and begging and pleading. Please give me back my pay. I mean, his eyes were bloodshot
I would
red.
like to know how much that man makes off of TikTok to feel this way.
He must make a lot of money because I thought he had a big presence on Instagram. I really did, but I guess not. Or even on Twitter, but maybe he doesn't make as much money as he does on
all the kids are on TikTok now, so maybe that is why.
Yeah.
Maybe he's about to take a huge pay cut and he's freaking out.
Maybe this is your opportunity to learn that you're too grown of a man to continue to be talking about other people's business. Like I know you made your whole.
Look how long Wendy's done it.
Oh, that's very true. But at least she was no.
That shit caught up to her real quick though.
Well, yeah, she kept talking about. I just couldn't believe the hypocrisy. How you sat here for years dogging the shit out of Whitney Houston talking about she smoked crack. Bitch, you was going and smoking crack too. Like, I mean, I thought you.
It be your own people.
Listen, she just, ma'am, sweet as the, I don't know if that's the Whisperers or whatever, the Williams brothers, somebody. I think it's the Williams brothers. Sweep around your own front door before you try to sweep around mine. That's definitely the Williams brothers. It's a gospel group. Anyway, yes, sweep around your own front door before you try to sweep around mine. Let's be clear. People in glass houses don't what?
Uh-huh.
Throw stones.
Throw stones. I was going to say get hit.
Oh my God. Next subject.
Not my circus. That's all I know. Woo! Is that how it goes?
Don't get hit. It's people in glass houses should not throw stones and
I
or
thought
rocks.
it was he without sin cast the first stone.
That's another one. That's for judging
Is
people.
there a movie with Julia Stiles called House of Glass? Glass Houses?
That's not Julia Stiles. It's what's her name? Oh gosh, she had a bunch of kids. Not a bunch of kids, but yes, it was one called Glass House, and literally sister and a brother, they were staying with.
And their name was Glass, right?
No.
Okay, I'm making things up. Cool.
No, the house was just made out of glass.
Oh, yes, I remember. Who is this? Oh, the girl from
She's
Josie
tall and
Grossi.
blonde. Yes. Tall and blonde. The glass house. Yeah. Her and her brother were staying at somebody's
Lily
house.
Sobieski.
Yeah. It was actually a good movie.
She's from Never Been Kissed. Great movie.
Okay, next subject.
Okay, sorry. Yeah, that's what I got. Let's go to the rehab corner. Wheel me on into the rehab corner. They tried to make me go to rehab. I said,
go.
hey, yes, I've been bad, but when I come back, you'll
Go. Get your ass in that corner.
Hey, welcome to the rehab corner, everybody.
All right, so what are we talking about in the rehab corner today?
Gate training.
What?
I'm
No.
kidding. I don't know the first fucking thing about it.
You really don't. You're
No.
no T. You're not supposed to. It's
I
okay.
just say, did I tell you I had a patient last week? Because I don't know shit about gate training.
Yeah.
And he told me he used a walker at home, but I walked into the room, it was contact, so I didn't want to fucking bring my walker in. And I was like, it was just an eval. So I was like, stand, I'll help you stand up.
Yeah.
When I tell you I've never seen kyphosis do what it was doing to his back, I was like, oh shit. And so we took a couple steps and I said, do you feel like you're leaning back or to the side? He goes, I feel like I'm just leaning all the way forward. I said, no shit, sir. Hold on. Let me grab my fucking walker.
Probably uses the walker to hold himself up. Yeah.
Well, at first he told me he did it, and then he said he steals his wife sometimes, so we pivoted. But I grabbed the walker, he's using it, we're walking in the room, and I said, okay, sir, just make sure you stay inside that walker. You're coming out a little far. And he goes, well, can you tell me why it's so important for me to stay in the walker? You keep saying that. And I was like, I just hear the PT say it all the time.
Because you're going to fall if you don't.
I
Okay,
know.
here's one thing that you should say. This is what I tell patients all the time. Stay within the confines of the walker, sir or madam. Everything outside of the walker is hot lava.
Oh, does that get him?
It does.
I was literally just like, well, if it comes out too far, sir, that's just unsafe because it'll slide right out from you.
That's very true, but it's more fun when you freak them out with the hot
I
lava.
was like, I just regurgitate PT information, sir. I don't know how to do this. I don't remember sag up and gas down. What is it? Gas up, sag down?
What are you referring to? What are you talking about?
When you're going on like the stairs and stuff.
The good leg goes to heaven, the bad leg goes to hell.
Affected step.
Who taught you that? That's
Gas up and you sag down.
That's too much. Your good leg goes to heven, your bad leg goes to hell. That's a PT rule.
That would have been helpful.
Yeah, sag and gas. What the fuck? What school did you go to?
Because it's good affected step.
Who know? This is how I know you're not a PT. Nobody looks at that. Nobody has ever said that.
Okay, well.
Let us know in the comments, PTs, if you know good leg goes to heaven, bad leg goes to hell.
Or if you sag up and gas down.
That's the weirdest thing.
Or
I've ever
gas
heard.
up and sag down. I don't even fucking know. Well, sag would
It's not even important. What are we talking about in the rehab corner today? How many beers have you had tonight?
Not enough. Not enough. I have questions. So we had a couple, or I guess it was just a patient who was having an anniversary at the hospital.
So your friend,
Well, it was just someone had, through spreading the news of the plan, they were going to throw her an engagement party or an anniversary party. Whatever kind of party you had when you're married a lot. I'm not, so I don't know what
anniversary, yeah.
And they were like, oh yeah, well the husband's bringing steak and wine, yada, yada, yada. And I gagged because I was like, that's inappropriate for a hospital to me personally.
Right.
I don't think you should have alcohol at the hospital.
No.
And I know, like, there's some patients that are going through withdrawals and they used to bring them alcohol, but I don't think we do that very much anymore.
Yes, we actually do.
Do they still do that?
Yes, they do. Some it's a lot of the old school physicians. They will bring in like
the ones that still say MR.
Yeah, exactly. I literally came in one time and this guy had a cabbage and his wife was sitting in the room with him and he was just very belligerent and blah, blah, blah. And when I walk in the room to do my eval, he literally has a bottle of Ciroc sitting on.
See, if that's how I'm going to go out
I'm sorry, not
hospital.
Ciroc. It was Smirnoff. 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 And it was the red one. And so I was just like, okay, is this like a gag gift or something like that? And they were just like, well, no, he's had a bottle of Smirnoff in the room, and they were literally giving him shots of Smirnoff to help him come down off of the surgery. I mean, not the surgery, but the alcohol. And I'm like, for you as a cardiologist or whatever kind of doctor you are, if your patient shows up to surgery drunk, that's a good indication that you probably shouldn't operate. Like, and the fact that you have to put on his MAR for the nurses to give him shots of alcohol is stupid to me.
Insane, dude.
That makes, like, even with patients who like are going through meth withdrawal and, you know, they give them Narcan. Like, Narcan is given to wake your ass the fuck up and bring you back to life. It's not to give it
Narcan.
to problematic.
Kidding.
Yeah, no, you're serious. But yeah,
I'll try
I mean,
anything once.
You've tried crack then? You would try crack and or cocaine? Don't do that.
I wouldn't do crack. Crack's for poor people. That's what Whitney told me.
Crack is for anyone who has an addiction. Okay, not anyone, but if you have drug addiction.
I don't know how this got turned on me. I don't drink alcohol at the hospital.
I'm just saying, you said you'll try anything once, so I asked you if you'll try crack.
I don't want to ever say never. Never say never.
Okay,
Justin Bieber said it.
Don't try crack, just please.
Anyway, at one of the hospitals I shadowed at,
Yeah.
they had a patient in rehab and his family kept bringing him bottles of wine.
Yeah.
And they had to shut that shit down because they were like, sir, you can't, that's not, no.
Yeah. We even had a patient, honestly, with COVID. And her
bottles.
friend kept bringing her like liquor. And I'm just like, are we going to tell somebody about this? And they were just like, oh no, the doctors know.
I'm just like, people play it so cool, but I'm like, that's not cool. Like,
that's not a medication.
The thing is, in the hospital, it's very weird. It's not like an office 9-to-5 job.
No.
There aren't like, there's rules, but a lot of them are common sense rules that
Yeah.
everyone believes are common sense. But I've never, I mean, there is a handbook, but I've never sat there and read it. There's not like rules. I read it when I signed it. But it's just like, there's just rules. There's this big, all these rules that you're just supposed to know are rules. And everyone, when someone breaks the rule, if one or two people is like, oh, it's fine, then you're like, is that not a fucking rule? I could have sworn.
But I mean, okay, if you're going to give alcohol to patients, to ETOH withdrawers, are you then going to give weed brownies to oncology patients? Are you going to let them eat their edibles in the hospital then?
That would be a fun floor.
But you should. Well, nobody would do therapy because everybody would be sleepy and or hungry.
Or they'd want to participate. You'd have to get them at a good time.
Well, the thing is, edibles and weed makes you nice and relaxed. So nobody wants to exercise while they're high.
Yeah, but if you're nice and relaxed all day, maybe you do want to do something.
I mean, you'll get up and take a walk.
Don't you know like those functional stoners?
Oh, yeah. I went to college with a few of them.
Yeah, there you go. Some people.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I'm not going to.
I'm just saying,
project.
if you're going to let alcoholics have alcohol in the hospital, you need to allow oncology patients, terminally ill patients, to have weed brownies, weed tea, edibles, gummy bears, whatever the case may be, or let them go outside and smoke.
Or like, so weed is technically still illegal here, yeah?
In Texas,
I want to say you'll still get your ass rocked if you have weed.
Why you gotta get rocked? Why you can't just, hey
My
man,
God.
put out your weed?
Nope, they won't do that.
It's been decriminalized on a federal
Yes.
level. I just
Okay,
don't know
so it
for
is
the state
decriminalized,
level.
but I do think it's still technically illegal in large amounts, but alcohol is not.
Right.
So I'm saying, like, what about vapors? Because vaping is legal, right?
Yeah.
But it's still a drug. Mm-hmm. So if we're going to let people have alcohol, are you going to let, like, people vape in the hospital?
Well, even the people who use tobacco. Like,
yeah.
When I worked at a particular government hospital, we had people who literally came right out of surgery and had a can of dip sitting on their tray table. Ugh. And the doctor saw it. They did not care. People would be like, yeah, I know I just had a heart surgery. Can I go downstairs and have a smoke? Sir, you almost died on the table, and I'm not going to push you down there to smoke. If you can get down there, you can do it. First of all, you don't even have off the floor orders.
I tell you how that guy had a massive stroke, aphasic, like the whole entire left side of right side of his body was out. He didn't say anything to me because he's aphasic. The one thing he said is he gestures his fingers to his lips, and I heard small, small, small.
Sir, that's probably why
I said, "Do you want to smoke?" He said, "Yes." And I said, "Okay, well, when you can hold a cigarette with your good hand, we can go smoke."
You ain't even got to hold it. You don't even have the
When you
lips
can hold
to
the
puff
fucking,
it.
you can light your own cigarette.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
When you can work with speech therapy to be able to puff and inhale, then we can talk.
But I'm just like, that's wild to me. I just think alcohol in the hospital is no.
That's just, I don't think it's appropriate. I don't think it's an appropriate course of treatment. I think you're only reinforcing the bad behavior. And I get it that, patients who are alcoholics or who are, severely drunk, that they can die. They will, an alcoholic will die quicker than, an overdose, a drug addict, like
withdrawal takes people quick.
Oh, it does. It will kill you very quickly.
Your body just like,
it doesn't know how to function. Yeah. It doesn't know how to function without it. So I totally get that. But I don't think that we should be reinforcing that in a way where, can you put the alcohol in an IV?
Oh.
So at least you're not reinforcing the behavior.
That's true. Because to me, what I'm thinking is like, if it's not a serious situation, but I know that this person got to have wine, even me right now, 26, just chilling. If I'm in the hospital, I'm going to be like, fuck that. I want a glass of wine while I'm here. I get wine at the airport, at the movie theater, at freaking Whole Foods when I'm walking around, and I want it now while I'm sitting in the hospital.
Especially at Costco. Just saying.
That's a good one. You know what I mean? Like, I would just be like, why do they get to do it and not me?
Yeah. I just think it's inappropriate. I think it only reinforces the bad behavior.
Unless you're going to provide happy hour once a week to your employees for free, it shouldn't be allowed in the hospital.
Hey, if you're going to let a patient have Smirnoff, I'm going to come in there and get a cup.
I would love a margarita machine.
Heck yeah. That will, you know what will improve employee morale? Margarita.
Liquor.
Yes. Get a happy hour.
Burst.
A 1 drink maximum, and we're good.
Yeah. What is 1 drink going to do? Said
that.
Every alcoholic ever.
Very true. Well, isn't it in like some Asians, they can't get, some types of Asians, their body doesn't metabolize alcohol very well.
True. That's why they turn red so quickly.
Yes. So then they will get drunk very fast. So they have a half of glass maximum.
So because you're Asian, you get half a drink token.
Yeah.
Thank you. Give your other half to this whiter black gentleman standing behind you.
I feel like white people can hold liquor way better than black people. They are just a freaking funnel. Just keep it going, Craig. What the fuck?
Damn it, Craig.
Black people be passed out.
Oh,
Hispanics don't know. I think Hispanics can hold their liquor better than white people, though, honestly.
100%. I mean, agave, tequila. It's from Mexico.
Listen,
it's in their veins.
I just think it's all Hispanics, like Mexican, Colombian, Puerto Rican, Dominican, Hispanics in general. You all have a subset of organs that houses your liquor that you can hold it. Yeah, they have a third stomach and a second liver because they can hold it.
There you go.
What else are we talking about in the rehab corner?
We had a very hectic Friday. Was it Friday that the days?
Thursday.
Was it Thursday?
Wait, what are you talking about?
Where our days were just like, we kept trying to pick up people, wasn't working.
Friday. Oh my God. Let me tell this story.
Paint me a picture.
So Friday, we're at work and Alyssa comes in and I'm like, oh crap, I'm going to be at work by myself. Alyssa's not going to be here. One of our other coworkers is not going to be here. And then alas, they're going to be here. So anyway, so Alyssa comes in and, some of her patients she can't see because they're not appropriate. Some of my patients I can't see because they're not appropriate. So I call my office and I'm like, hey, do you have any evals on this particular unit? So the person who's on the phone says, absolutely. I have a patient in, 333, right? Which is not a real room. Or maybe it is. I don't know. But it wasn't on that floor. Anyway. And so I'm sitting at the nurse's station so I can visually see this particular room number. And so as I'm writing down the name, I get off the phone with her and then I look over and I was like, oh, listen, don't you need an eval? And she's like, yeah. And I was like, okay, here's the patient's name. Gave her the patient's name. And then we look over and all of a sudden we see the bed is super high as hell.
Oh, it is.
The patients look
like death.
They looked so bad. Intubated, sedated, straight out of surgery. And I was like,
you can tell when they just roll some motherfucker into a room. It looks like they just got rolled into a room. Their hair is still windswept from the speed of the bed coming into the room. The family's waiting outside, can't go in yet.
A bunch of nurses in the
working
in the room.
on them. You don't know what they're doing because you didn't go to nursing school, so you're just. And we're like, well, shit, we can't see that person.
So then I call down to get another person, and I'm like, okay, this person I can. The same person that I called to go down and see. 2.5 hours later, I'm getting ready to leave work. And then I'm trying to put this person on the weekend list to be seen because I'm like, oh, they just had surgery. Somebody can see them on Saturday. I go over and I'm like, wait, this is not the same name that the person from my office gave me. So then I go back in the computer and I'm like, this patient was on a whole nother floor. So the patient who was actually appropriate
that we were supposed to
see was no longer in that room, but nobody knew until I figured it out at the very end of the day. And I was just like,
and let me tell you, this happens all the time. I can't tell you how many times I'm like, oh, can't see that person. They're dying. Just looked at the notes. Can't see that person. I looked in the room. They look like shit. Yeah. And or you ask the nurse, hey, can I see your patient in this room? And they'll be like, oh no, they're intubated. They're not appropriate. They're going back down for surgery. And you're like, well, shit, that's my patient. I feel bad. I'll have to check on him. You write the whole note. And you're like, sorry, supervisor, my day went to shit because my patient's not appropriate. Yeah. The nurse was talking about a different fucking patient.
Totally different patient. And you're just like, really? Is that what we're doing in the last and evil days? Because they transfer these people out of the ICU so fast that the computer system doesn't have time to catch up. And two, if a physician or somebody puts in a PTOT order at like 9 o'clock, but they leave the unit at like 11 and I call to pick it up, it's still going to tell me where they were at that 9 o'clock time because it's a piece of paper that came out on the printer. And so I'm just like, okay, I'm not going to go in a room with a bunch of nurses working on a patient. I'm just like, oh, that's the patient that's in this room. I know that you're not appropriate. I'm not going to go and check their name badge or their name bracelet to figure out who the hell they are. So I was just like, seriously? And then Alyssa and I saw this one guy, this man... Working with hard of hearing patients is such a ministry, and
I'm
you
just
have
like,
to have.
It goes against everything in my body to scream in your face.
Seriously,
like I've always been told, I don't know, don't fucking scream in people's faces.
No, it was just a nightmare. This man, he was a very nice man. Don't get me wrong, super super sweet, but he was so hard of hearing. And then now we have to wear N95s in the ICU again. That's a new policy that they just they've been taking it back and giving it the whole pandemic. They're playing hot and cold. Exactly. So we see this guy.
I'm being conned by hospital administration into a relationship where I have to wear N95s and I don't have to wear N95s.
And my goggles. And so we see this guy and he's just so hard of hearing and we're just like, we're going to walk in the hallway, sir. Like and everybody's looking at us like, what the fuck are y'all doing? And we're just like, this man is hard of hearing, but I got to see him walk, check his balance so I can know if he can go the fuck home or not.
Yeah, when you see me slide that glass door shut, it's because I'm screaming.
Yeah, because usually every time we go in a room, OT loves to close the goddamn curtains, which I hate.
Them privacy.
No, you never give a patient privacy in an ICU because you don't know what the hell.
Yes, you do. Because they're in an ICU. No. They have to shit in front of people.
Let me tell you why. No, I'm not talking about that. But when you are actively moving that patient, you never know what could happen. They can code and pass out at the drop of a dime, and no one will see you behind the goddamn curtain struggling, and then you're gonna be stuck.
Well, good, because it's probably my fault anyway. Well, I'm kidding.
You said that, not me. But anyway, this guy was so hard of hearing that he decides he wants to do a complete 180 because his glasses fell and he almost fell.
God,
and
y'all.
It was just...
So after screaming at this man, right, walking him in the hall, we finally get back to the room. And this was the week after I had my other fall in rehab, I think.
Yeah.
So I'm on high alert. I'm like, no more falls. This man whips his head and his body. The glasses fall off his face. And instead, he's like 80 something.
Yeah.
Instead of saying, oh, can someone grab my glasses? He's like, oh, I just got to go with him. He just falls right in between the bed and the chair. And the bed and the chair, like his ass crack falls where the bed rail is. Yeah. Thank God. So it kept him up.
Yeah,
I was like, sir.
He was like in a backwards squat kind of sorta, and so he was like super easy to get up. Because as soon as I saw him fall, let me tell you something. When I first graduated from PT school, any patient that looked like they were falling, I would literally take my body and go with them.
Same. If the chair wasn't in between us, I would have gone right behind you.
Yeah, no, I let him fall now. No, I'm not sacrificing my back to try to help you from falling. No, that's not.
She acted like he was a kid who got out of the pool and was throwing when they drop their whole body to the ground because they don't want to go anywhere.
I stood right there.
She stood right there, grabbed his arm, and was like, get up.
I was like, okay, get on up. Because his butt was not hitting the floor. His knees was not hit. He was literally like suspended on the bed rail because his butt hit the mattress first and then bounced him off the mattress and then he landed on the bed rail. So I was like, that's not a fall. Let's go. It was so easy. I literally could have put one hand out to get him up. That's why I was like, this is not a fall.
Your face was just so over it. Yeah. Literally was like mom with kid at the pool who's throwing a fit.
I was just like, get your ass up. Let's go. And sit your ass in this chair. You have a chair alarm. Do not get up, sir. Do not. Do you need anything else before the fuck I leave out of here? No, I think I'm good. You better be.
How long do I have to sit here? Forever.
Because you just did that and almost made me had to write an incident report.
After we had walked 2 laps in the whole unit.
And he did wonderful. Didn't have a loss of balance whatsoever. He comes back in, them goddamn glasses fly off his face, and he's like, my goggles.
Yep.
And
that
crazy.
happened this last week. What else happened? We had that man who speaks. He was also hard of hearing. Cabbage, speaks Spanish, but also speaks English, but not great English.
Oh, the one that was like grunting as he talks?
And no one knows what the fuck he's saying because his mouth is moving and words are coming out, but it's no one knows what the fuck he's saying. He's
like, what's going on?
And I was like, what the fuck? Like, he's speaking English at this point, and Monty's just like, yeah, sir, I know, that's crazy. Having full-blown fucking conversations, and it's tripping me out because I'm like, does she know what the fuck he's saying? Because I cannot understand a word. He's like, I've seen blah, blah, blah TV. She's like, me on TV? That's crazy. Ha, 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 blah. I was like, this is fucking insane. We walked out of the room. I was like, what the fuck?
Then he was like, oh, were you in the military? And I'm like, no, sir, I'm just naturally mean.
No, I caught on at the end because he had said something about he needed to go pee, and you're like, yeah, that's the plan. Sit on the edge of the bed, get to the chair. We're gonna stand up a little. I was like, what the fuck is she talking about?
Because
I was like, she doesn't know what he's saying.
He kept saying, I need to pee, and I'm like, dude, you have a Foley catheter. Just let it go.
No one gets that.
He was like, but I want to pee on myself, and I'm like, you won't pee on yourself. Just fucking go. God. He's like, okay.
And then his lines are all jacked up because it's never easy in the ICU.
Yeah.
Jesus, this week was rough.
Yeah, I'm just over it, and I only have a couple more days until my 3-week vacation, and so I am just trying to survive.
Do we have work tomorrow? Oh, shit.
Yes, we have work tomorrow. Tomorrow's Monday.
I'm going to show up with a great attitude. We're going to go. I'm going to be in the ICU. You're going to be in the ICU. We're just going to go kick butt, see the people, get the fuck out.
And get out, yeah. Alyssa did bring us Munchkins from Dunkin' Donuts, which is my favorite donut place. And then let me tell you about this. Stop eating everything that your coworkers bring. The Munchkins were one thing. I think you brought those on like Wednesday or Thursday. Yes, Wednesday. Thursday, this bitch gets to work and she's like, hey, Lonnie, do you want a bean and cheese taco? Of course, my fat ass is like, of course.
Gifts are my love language.
Now, mind you, I already have my breakfast with my little 2 vegan sausage patties, my 2 boiled eggs, and my sweet potatoes, right? So me eating this bean and cheese taco in the moment felt really good. And then all of a sudden, as soon as I got to the floor, I was like, shit, I shouldn't have ate that because now I got the bubble guts. And I don't know if I'm going to make it through this shift. All because she offered me a goddamn bean and cheese taco with lard, okay?
Sorry, I'm friendly.
These are true Mexican tacos with lard.
Delicious. Ooh,
all this oil and they're good, but god dang, I was just like, I know I shouldn't have ate that.
Not worth it, but worth it.
You know how you just start sweating and you're just like, oh, sweet baby Jesus, I don't think I'm gonna make it.
Treats in the morning are the only way to get me to work at this point.
That's true.
And I only want a couple, but I'm like, everyone else needs something too. So
Absolutely.
like, let me just bring something in. Like when you get towards the holiday, I like need something every day to wake up for.
And we don't have vendors in the hospital as much as we used to. So
there's no bun cakes. There's no Rice Krispie treats there was
speaking of that, there were bun cakes on Friday. You missed it.
I missed them. That's
in CVICU, one of the reps, she came in and she's like, she always brings bun cakes, but then she worked for this other company and I think it was like a little poorer anyway because she would only give us peanuts and I'm like, what the fuck is this?
Peanuts? Like if she's on a fucking plane?
Exactly.
I mean, stewardess?
She worked for this hospice company, so I was like, maybe hospice isn't booming that well.
Dude, I saw a hospice car. You know how the cars have the vinyl wrap on the side?
Yeah.
I was driving next to a hospice car the other day and I shook my head.
Just in disgust, like, I know what you're doing.
It's fucking Grim Reaper behind it.
Oh, gosh. So, yeah, she brought these little mini bundt cakes, and me and one of the other nurses, her name is Monica as well, we just sat there and just at the nurse's station just tore them up, put our mask right back on, and just walked away like nothing happened. Like, that was a new water cooler just inhale it and move on. So, yeah, I'm definitely, like I said, this week is going to be a short week for me. Glory to God. Hallelujah.
I'm so proud of you. I love that for you.
Yeah.
And then you're leaving me alone, but whatever.
That's true. That's very true. And I don't feel bad about it.
Sure you don't.
Not at all.
I can't decide if this week I'm going to not complain to keep myself sane or I'm just going to like fucking full force dive into complaining to keep myself sane. Do you know what I mean?
Yes. I'm just going to be honest with you. I don't care what you do this week because it's a short week for me.
All right. Well, fuck you too then. All right, cool. Now I'm going to complain just to piss you off.
No, you won't. I'm going to be in such a great mood. Listen, I'm not going to care what happens this week because I'm going to be in a great mood.
We'll see.
Because I'm not going to have to deal with the shit show for 3 weeks. So.
We'll see. I'll check back in.
Oh, you're fine. Trust me. I will not. My motto this week is going to be, I'm sorry, what? It's above me now. I only have a couple more days for my vacation.
I'm going to call in tomorrow so you get stuck with someone who's not me.
Oh, that's perfectly fine. I will go by myself.
I'm sure.
Listen, I told you before, I will struggle by myself. I'm perfectly fine with that bed. Oh, let me tell you, first of all, rewind. I go to see this patient, piggybacking off of the rehab corner. Speaking of getting stuck by myself, I go and see this one patient, and the wound care nurse is in there changing the patient's wound vac on her stomach.
She is a blessing.
I love her. Love her. And so she's like, oh, Monica, just give me a few more minutes. And I'm like, no problem. No worries. I'm going to, I'm chilling. I'm just going to chart while I'm here. I go in and I try to see the lady, and she's agreeable to do like the reeval after she had, I think, an X-lap. And so I'm like, all right, ma'am, let's get to the edge of the bed. And she's like, okay. So I'm like, move your left leg out toward the edge of the bed. She just wiggles her toes. I'm like, what the fuck? So I finally get her legs kind of like off the bed. Now she's a big girl, bigger than me, and she's short and round.
Meatball status.
Yes. And so I go and put my hand behind her back to try to help with the slider sheet to slide her and just turn. Bitch, we went nowhere. It was just like, all right, on 3, 1, 2.
We didn't go nowhere. Disheartening, because I feel like patients are always like, you can't get me by yourself. And I'm like, fuck you. Yes, I can.
She wasn't even helping. And I was like, mama, hey girl, you a big girl like me. I'm gonna need you to help me, okay? So you use this bed rail and I need you to push with all your might. You got it? And she's like, just so disinterested. So we go again, and I'm like, all right, 1, 2, bitch, this ain't working. I'm too close to my vacation. You're not about to bust up my back. I politely put her legs right back in their bed.
That's when
and
you
I
hit
was
that
like,
chair mode button.
Trent Dellenberg, bitch. Oh, no. Then I call one of the nurses. I'm like, hey, can somebody help me slide her up? And then all of a sudden, everybody just walks away from the nursing station. I was like, don't everybody volunteer at once? I was like, what the hell? Ma'am, I'm too close to my vacation. I am not sacrificing my body for anybody. I'm not. We didn't go in, and I was just sitting there like, I'm by myself. I even called down. I was like, hey, does anybody from OT have this patient? So we can go together. Is there a tech available? Because I am not about to bust up my back.
Don't. It's not worth it. Do you remember when I got up that guy who was like 300 pounds, dead weight, because his legs didn't work and neither did his trunk. And I felt so bad because he hadn't been up. And then the nurse was kind of rude about how, yeah, welcome to my world. I never have help. So I was like, fuck, I have to get him up.
Just to prove a point.
Yeah. But it is easier there is a difference between someone being dead weight and someone actively not helping and someone actively resisting. Do you know what I mean? Because like any kind of spinal cord stroke, that stuff where it's just like it's not activating. That's easy to manipulate.
It is. It's easy to move them around and you can jerk them however you want to do. But if they're actively resisting, you are fighting against them. And that's dangerous for both of y'all. Or even
someone who has muscle movement but just ain't doing shit. Like your body is still kind of tensing. So that's just real hard.
It's just dangerous. And I was just like, nope. And then I had her the next day on my list, and I was like, shit. I should have just put not Monica, but I put on there heavy double, exclamation point. And guess who got the patient? My fat
Isn't it fun when you time someone or you don't get to them or whatever, and you're like, I'm not even going to worry about it because someone's going to get them tomorrow.
Yeah, no.
And they repopulate on your list.
They repopulate right on my list. And then I went the next day.
And you're like, oh, it's my problem again. Got
and
it.
She was not in the mood for none of my shenanigans. I was like, hey, girl. Remember me from yesterday, Monica from PT? I'm here to do some exercising and to hopefully finish my reeval because we didn't get to sit up. And so she just keeping her eyes closed. And I was like, okay, let me turn on the salsa channel because, we get on the TV, we can play music. So I started playing salsa and I'm dancing with her. She's looking at me like, bitch, not today. Not today. And we did every bit of TheraX bed level exercise I could think of. Listen, short arc quads, glute squeezes, and then she wouldn't even do the ankle pump. So then one of the doctors came in, and I'm like, "Hey, she's not doing therapy." He's like, "What, man?
They act like it's the biggest surprise in the world. Nobody wants to get up from that bed.
No." And I was just like, "Ma'am, do you want to rot in this bed?" She's like, "No." And I was like, "Well, then you have to get up with me." She's like, "No." Okay.
I get it, and I don't, because I think they're always getting bothered. No one lets you sleep. They're drawing blood. They're doing vital checks. The doctor's coming. He's rude. The food sucks. You can't sleep because it's a shit bed. I get it. Mm-hmm. You don't want to get up with me.
Yeah.
On the other hand, you're in this bed for fucking 23 hours a day.
Very true.
I'm asking for 20 minutes of your time.
Yeah.
Get the fuck up.
Well, then even we had this one patient on Friday, our other coworker, we go in to see this guy together, and the nurse is just like, listen, He's very just like depressed about everything, dealing with life, blah, blah, blah. He don't want to do nothing. I guess, you know, he came in emergently for something that really was killing him. And apparently he didn't want to be saved, but his wife saved his life. He don't want to be saved. So his wife was like, oh, no, bitch, you're not going to Jesus yet. You're going to stay here on earth.
Me as a wife.
Exactly.
We have bills and kids.
And you still got to cut that grass. He didn't get on that.
The Christmas lights aren't up. You know, we have people coming over for New Year's.
Exactly.
It's bullshit.
You don't try to die on us like that. No, you won't. So yeah, we going with him, and then he almost falls. He's hard of hearing. And then the craziest thing happens. We get him to the bedside commode. He walks to the bedside commode. And so because he's hard of hearing, me and my coworker, we just start having a random conversation. We were like, he's not going to hear us anyway. So we're just talking about just life in general stuff, you know, TV shows, blah, blah, blah. So then all of a sudden, the man starts pulling his gown up. And I can see his penis. And I'm like, okay, I've seen a penis 1,000,001 times. Once a penis, always a penis, right?
You'd think.
But then all of a sudden, his penis was flaccid. All of a sudden, his penis starts rising. And I'm like, this motherfucker is about to pee. And his penis is not in the bedside commode. So I get up and I'm like, he's about to pee. He's about to pee. So then I was like, where's the urinal? Where's the urinal? No urinal to be found. I tell the nurse, I'm like, yo, give me a urinal right now. He's going to piss on this floor and I'm not cleaning up this shit. So then, because the patient's hard of hearing, my coworker's like, sir, are you trying to pee? And so he's like, yes. Super loud because he's hard of hearing. She's like, I need you to tuck your penis in the bedside commode because you're going to pee on the floor. And so he's like, what? She's like, tuck your penis in the bedside commode. And then she's like, just tuck that little fella in there.
Oh, I love my job.
I don't think she didn't realize what she was saying.
She calls everything a little fella.
She really does. She's like, oh, got that little phone. Get that little fella in your pocket. You know, just something simple. But it was the funniest thing. Just everybody hearing her down the hall would just say, put your penis in the bedside commode. She's like, yeah, I just stuffed it in there so you wouldn't pee everywhere.
Sounds about right.
Yeah, it was a pretty.
That's my favorite part of my job is sticking people's dicks in urinals.
Seriously,
I do it every day.
Well, what about the patients who don't have very much down there and you got to
when
squeeze
they
the
have
balls?
Innies, not outies. No, I make them squeeze themselves.
You got to squeeze the balls for the penis to come
I'm not playing
out.
fucking pop-up weasel with your dick so you can pee. If you want to pee, you need to fucking inform that shit out. I'll hold the urinal. You have to stick it in there.
Do you realize that no one prepares us in PT and OT school to be
one class
touching
that I
people's
have
dicks?
where they like, hey, let's, you know what it truly does look like? Do you remember those fucking water toys with the beads and shit in it that you could like, the squishy things? It literally is like that.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't want to fucking do it. This isn't what I signed up for.
Even patients will be like, I can't reach down there. I can't put it down there. And then you're stuck holding the urinal on their balls and putting their penis inside of a urinal. I'm like, I did not go to school for a graduate degree to hold urinals up against penises.
And my thing is like, it's awkward when they have nothing down there, but it's even more awkward when they have a whole lot down there.
Exactly.
Because I'm just like,
or patients who like don't have a whole lot and they're just like, yeah, I don't have very much down there.
Yeah,
it's like,
they love to call attention to it.
Thanks, Captain Obvious. I wasn't looking at your penis.
I get used to the nothing. So when I see a something, I'm like,
you're just like, oh,
sir,
wow.
I don't want to, is it too much? I don't.
Yeah. Can you reach it down there? Or, you know, can you just kind of,
I mean, shit, it's looking at me in the face.
Exactly.
It's basically at your chest. Yeah.
It's really weird.
It's a really fun job. Yeah, man.
Yeah. Nobody prepared us for that in PT school. So if you're thinking about PT or OT school, don't do it.
Or do outpatient where you probably won't have to wipe an ass.
Yeah, you won't have to wipe any asses. Go to peds, you know.
Peds, there's some ass wiping.
But at least they're kids, so it's like you kind of have grace with them to a degree. It's like they pee in their clothes. It's like, oh, it's a kid. They're supposed to. You know, well, not supposed to, but you know what I mean.
And everyone complains when you wipe their ass too hard. And I'm like, it's full of shit.
Exactly.
What do you want me to do? Everyone complains when the wipes are cold.
They're like, oh, can you give us warm wipes? I'm sorry. When you buy baby wipes at the store, they're not warm.
Did I tell you in rehab someone made me warm up the wipes with warm water?
What? No.
Like yep.
No, I'm not doing that.
Uh-huh.
No, I'm not wasting a whole pack of wipes that's sitting here to go accommodate you and get you some warmers. I'm going to just give you this warm. Hey, I'm so sorry. This may be a little cold. Just clench your butt cheeks. You're fine.
Give it the good.
Yeah. I can't. Just try to wrap you know,
on the booty
rub the package together and kind of do it. But yeah, anyway.
That's
anything
all I
else?
got. That was it. All right, thanks for tuning in to another episode of, oh God, have I ever told you how annoying my voice is?
Ma'am, you were wrapping up and you just talked yourself right out of it.
I know. Because I heard myself. My allergies are getting bad. It's your fig tree.
You have the headphones on. Why don't you hear yourself every time?
No, I do, but I'm now having a flashback to like, thanks for tuning in to another episode of the Face Off. And I hear myself and I'm like, why are you screaming at the fucking...
It's because you've been screaming at your patients all week.
I know.
So
anyway, thanks for tuning in to another episode of the Face Off with Fleming and Fowler.
Join us next week. Oh, we may be off next week. I don't know. We have to decide.
Everyone needs some time. Everyone needs some grace. It's the holidays. Okay. I'm going to be too drunk to do this.
Oh, you're not gonna. Yeah. So we're gonna have a bonus episode for y'all next week. So yeah, we'll figure that out.
We'll rate all the penises we've ever seen in the hospital.
Oh God, no. Ew. That's gross.
Yeah, gross. I would never. That's so disgusting.
Barf. Anyway. All right, y'all. Thanks for tuning in. Thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of The Face Off with Fleming and Fowler. Don't forget to follow us on all of our social media platforms, including Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube at The Face Off Pod. Be sure to tune in to The Face Off with Fleming and Fowler every Tuesday when new episodes are released.